Hi everyone, so off the back of the Winged Bendy card that we did a week or so ago, so we had this one, that was the first one I ever did. I still think it needs something in here, but I haven't had a chance to do anything with it. So that was the first one I did, and then I did this one with the acetate, which I really like actually. It's growing on me. When I first did it I wasn't sure because the acetate keeps attracting all the fluff and that, but as it sat on my desk it's growing on me more and more. So that was the other one. So off the back of that I was then thinking, what about, you know how I like my triple this and triple that, what about if we do a triple bendy card? So that is what we're doing today. So today we are going to be making, I'm using the same papers because they're just gorgeous, this card, which is a triple bendy card. So if I hold it up like that, you can see how it stands up. And so this is the card, and I've used vellum on the front. You could do other things if you wanted to. I've used the same papers as last time, so the Paper Boutique Blooming Beautiful papers and the embellishment pad from them. The vellum is an old Paper Mania vellum from many years ago. And then the gems I've used here, these beautiful gems, are from Lucy's shop. They're a small retailer, and she's wonderful. She's really nice, and they've got some gorgeous gem mixes. She recently did a thing for Ukraine where she made some blue. There's a whole load of blue and silver, not blue and silver, blue and yellow, this mix here that she did, and she sold them off, and all of the money went towards the Ukraine appeal. It's called Hand in Hand, but some beautiful gems in there, if you can see. Little hearts as well, little yellow heart, beautiful. So I did a little order with her, and ordered a few bits and bobs, and I'm using the sweetheart collection on my card today because I just love those colours. It's so nice. So yeah, so that's that. I shall show you at the end how it folds flat, but it folds flat and it fits into a 5x7 envelope. So yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so for this card you are going to need quite a few pieces. You're going to need a base card that is 5" by 11.5. Now I'm going to score this first and then we'll move on to the other bits that we need. So we're going to score the base card along the long edge. You're going to score it at 1 3/8, at 2 3/4, at 5 3/4, at 8 3/4, and at 10 1/8. Okay, so all those measurements are up on the screen for you. And that's, oh yeah, and then I'm going to leave the scoreboard out, but because we're going to go through the other bits that need scoring. So you're also going to need, for this one, now again, it's completely up to you. If you don't want to use vellum and you want to use, I don't know, acetate, or you want to do it differently with bits of card, you can literally do whatever you want, like we did with the previous bendy ones. You know, like on this one we had the card at the front, and then you had the little greeting at the back, and then on this one I've got acetate at the front, and then we've got a topper in the middle at the back there. So you literally do it how you want to do it. So there's lots of different options, but just the way I'm going to do it today, you're going to need 2 pieces of vellum that are 3 3/4 by 5. So you need 2 of those, and you're literally going to score it at 1/2 inch on either side. So 1/2 inch on that side along the short edge, and 1/2 inch on that side on the short edge. And you're going to do the same with this one. I've already done mine. So 1/2 inch there and 1/2 inch there. So that's those 2 pieces. And then you're going to need another bit of vellum, which is 7 inches by 5. And again, you're just going to score at 1/2 inch on that side and at 1/2 inch on that side. Okay, so that's pretty much all you need your scoreboard for. The only other things you're going to need your scoreboard for is for your topper. So you know, on this one that we did, this piece here at the back, I attached a piece of card to the back of it and then just scored a little 1/2 inch tab on either side. So you'll need to do that for whatever toppers you're going to use on this current card. But we'll get to that in a minute, because your toppers will be different to my toppers. So yeah, we'll tackle that in a minute. Okay, so if you take your piece of card, you're going to basically go valley, mountain, valley, mountain, valley. And that's how you're going to fold. So we're going to fold the first one is going to be a valley, then a mountain, then a valley, then a mountain, and then a valley. Okay, so you end up with that. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to start sticking, well, cutting out what we need to, apertures and whatever, and then we're going to start sticking down. So it's really up to you how you want to do this. Now on the cards we did before, this one here with the acetate, if you remember, I stuck, if you haven't seen this video, then I'll try and link it somewhere on the screen. If you remember from this one, we had to put the acetate, stick it on one side, then stick the pattern down, then stick the topper down, then stick the other side of the acetate, and then shimmy in the other pattern and stick the rest of the topper down. So that's basically what we're going to do again here, but obviously we're using vellum this time. But the difference this time around is that we have big sheets of vellum, which obviously you can't see through and you want to be able to. So we're going to cut an aperture out of our vellum. So all 3 pieces of vellum need apertures. So just so you know where they're going to go, this one is going to go on the front. So this is the bendy bit for the front. And these are the bendy bits for the sides. One here, and then there's that one there. So we're going to go ahead now and die cut out the little apertures that we need for those windows. And then we can start sticking things together. Right, so I found a circular die that I'm going to use for that centerpiece. And then I've got an oval die, which I'm going to use on these 2 side pieces. So I'm going to go away now and die cut these out of the panels. So I went ahead and die cut out my circles and ovals. So there's my panels ready. So now we just need to do like we did with the acetate, put some red tape on these side tabs on all of 3 panels. So I've taped up all of my vellum pieces. So now we're going to fold along those score lines, and then we're going to be mounting folds. So just going to carefully fold along all of our score lines. So I've done that, folded along the score lines, and just in case you're wondering, with this vellum, this is a very old vellum, I got given this, and it's a Paper Mania printed vellum. Paper Mania vellum paper, and it was called Classic Floral, and the code was PMA 41403. If I can find it, I'll link it, but I don't think you can get it anymore. But there are lots of other printed vellums out there just as nice as this. Yeah, you can get all sorts these days, so just have a look around and see. If I find anything similar, I'll try and link that as well below. Right, so that's that done. So if we just concentrate on, I think if we concentrate on the middle first. So we want to stick one side down. So this is going to go on there like that. So we're just going to stick one side down first, and then we're going to stick the pattern panel, and then we'll do the topper, and then we'll do the other side. And it will be fiddly like it was last time. Oh, I should have done half of that. Let me just quickly. If you end up doing like I just have done there, where you take your backing off and you suddenly realise that actually you shouldn't have taken it all off, just put it back on again. So it would have been better if I'd done that. There we go. Right, so then we line this up along there and along there. Like that, make sure it's nice and straight, and then we pull the backing off. There we go. So now we're going to open this up, and now we're going to stick in one of our pattern panels. So you will need, let's talk about pattern panels. You are going to need, we bring them all in. I've gone ahead and stuck mine down already just to make things a little bit easier and a little bit quicker, because there's quite a bit to stick down. So you're going to need, for the centre 2 panels, you're going to need, in total, you're going to need 4 matte panels. I've got matte panels here. 4 matte panels that are 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then on top of that, you need 3 patterns and 1 plain. And all of those 4 pieces, so the 3 patterns and the 1 plain, are going to be 2.5 by 4.5. Okay, so they're going to go here. Oh, sorry, you can't see here, here, and then like we did on the back, the same way we did on the back, like that. We did on this one. So on the back of the card, you've got a pattern there, and then your plainish one there. Okay, so we're going to use that, and then for the sides, you're going to need 4 map panels that are 1.25 by 4.75, and 4 pattern panels that are 1 inch by 4.5. And these are going to go here and here, and on this side, there and there. Okay, so that's what you need for those. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick one of these down onto there like that. And then we're going to stick the topper on. So I'll explain all about the topper in a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this down now. Okay, and also I forgot to mention that, you've probably guessed by now, the papers that I'm using are from this paper boutique pad called Blooming Beautiful, and it is exactly that, it is Blooming Beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous papers. You will probably see quite a lot of cards that I'm doing recently using these papers. I think it's a new pad. I got it off Amazon. I will link it below. Just click the link and it will take you through to it. But I just love it. And they also do a Blooming Beautiful embellishment pad, and so that's what I'm using for all the toppers, this sort of thing. And also this one. So they've got like little sentiments, and there's loads. If you look at the video I did when I did the bendy card, the Winged Bendy Card, it shows you, I actually show you the card, I actually show you the pad and take you through, but it's just beautiful. It is actually beautiful. So that's what I'm using today. Right, so we've stuck that down. So now you need to bring in your topper. So I'm using one of the toppers from the embellishment pad. And I'm also using some more of this pattern paper. But what I've done is I've just made sure that it's the width of the topper plus 1/2 inch on either side. So 1 inch in total bigger. And then I've just scored 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and these will act as my tabs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this onto the white side, and you'll see it's not quite high enough, but that's fine. It was just an offcut. It's not a problem because you're not really going to see it. So anyway, so I'm going to stick this topper onto the back of here, and then what we're going to do is bend this round, and then that's going to be that's going to stick your little topper down. So I'm going to go ahead now and just stick that down, and then we'll attach it into the card. So I've stuck that down, and I've stuck it onto the white side. It's not completely level top and bottom, but again, it really doesn't matter that much. So we're now going to bend these little tabs back on themselves. And if you find, because obviously I've scored them, but if you find that you've got this, can you see how there's a little bit of a gap? Just kind of give it a nudge over and give it a bit of a burnish. It doesn't matter too much. It's better that your tab kind of overlaps a little bit rather than your topper. Otherwise your topper will scrape against the side of your card. And we're going to put red tape on both of those tabs. So I've put the red tape on the tabs. So now I'm just going to find halfway along my topper, which I know is 2 inches because these toppers are 4 inches. Making a very small pencil mark just there. And then we're going to bring this in like this. I'm going to fold this flap over, take the tape off, the backing off. And then we're going to line that dot up with the centre fold line, making sure that it's nice and central, top and bottom, and it's also straight. And we're going to stick this down. Right, so now is the time, in fact you could have done it before you stuck it, but anyway, now is the time to try and bend this piece, because you want to give it a bit of a coax. In a minute we're going to be sticking the other side, but you want to kind of just make it understand it needs to be bending. So just kind of give it a bit of a massage. So that's it kind of knows it needs to be bending now. So with that in mind, we're now going to fold the whole thing down, and we're going to fold this down, and we're going to stick this piece of vellum on the other side. We're then going to put the pattern piece in, and again, as I said, it is fiddly to do, but it just depends. If you don't mind seeing your vellum on the side there, then you can put your pattern panel in first and stick that down, and then stick that over the top. But I don't really want to see it, so that's why I'm doing it this way around. So we're going to take the backing off this. So when you do this as well, you need to make sure that your topper's not too wide. I apologise if you can hear my cat in the background. I've shut the door and I've shut her out of the room, so she's not very happy about it. She wants to come and join in the fun. So there we go. So that's that. So then, now this is obviously a bit in the way, but anyway, we're now going to go ahead, if you can see that. Let me stand up so I can see what you can see. So yeah, so this bit here, this topper is sort of in the way, but what we're going to do is we're going to stick the pattern panel in the back there, and then fold the whole thing flat and stick the topper down. So let's do this one now then. So as you can see, I've stuck the pattern piece down at the back there. So now what I'm going to do is take the backing off of this topper, which is tricky because it's so tight space-wise, and then just going to lie that flat and stick it down. Okay, so that's stuck down, so that's it flat, and then if we just kind of coax it a little bit, and then there you have the front of it. So obviously if you wanted to, you can make that top a bit smaller, so it's not quite so large, but I quite like it. I wasn't sure how it was all going to work, because I wanted to still be able to see the pattern paper behind, so actually probably this could have been a bit smaller. But anyway, that's just what I got, so that's what I got. So that's that. So now we're going to repeat the process on the sides. So we're going to start with, in fact, let's do the back panels first, actually, before we start sticking on the sides down. So we've got a pattern panel and a plain panel. So if I turn this over, I'm going to go ahead and stick the pattern panel there and the plain panel there. So they're stuck down the back. We're going to turn this over, and then we're going to repeat the process on the sides of what we've just done there. So we're going to take a pattern panel, or two pattern panels. We're going to take our bit of vellum. So the vellum's going to go down first. So I'm just going to take this and we're going to peel off the backing here. And then what will happen is that's going to stick down on that left-hand side. So we're going to take this, line it up along the edge and stick it down. Okay, so once we've done that, we're going to open this up again. I'm going to stick that down, and then I think I'm going to try something different from this side, because trying to get my fingers in there to stick that down, I think it's going to prove a little bit problematic. So I've just suddenly thought of a different idea of how you can stick that other piece down. So let's just see if it works. So we're going to stick this down first of all. Right, so I've reconsidered what I was going to do. I was going to put little toppers in the same way as that, bending, but I've decided that that's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I've discovered these. I've got these little toppers here, and that will nicely bridge across the vellum. So I'm going to do that, and just so they bend round with the vellum. So with that in mind, we can go ahead and just stick these down. So what I was thinking was, on this side here, instead of sticking this down and then trying to shimmy that in, what we can do is if we open this up and just take the backing off of one side, because I've put two little strips there, and then we can stick this down onto the actual vellum, because that's what it's going to be like anyway when it's in the card. So stick that on like that, and then if we turn this over, we can peel the backing off of the rest of the panel and also off of the vellum. Oh. And then all we need to do is fold the whole thing over, fold it down flat and stick it into place like that. Now it's not quite, it's not completely straight, but you're going to be covering it up, and actually when it's in the crease, it's not it's not too obvious. There's quite a lot going on with this card, so I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem. So that is going to go. Now I'm either going to put it on the inside or I'm going to put it on the outside. I think probably outside. So we're going to do the same on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and stick one side down. I'm going to do the outside edge first. And then I'm going to open this up and I'm going to stick one panel in, and I'm going to do the other one the way we did originally and just see how I go with it. If I had Yoo-hoo glue, it'd be a lot easier because I could actually have a bit of wiggle room, but I haven't got any left at the moment, so that's why I'm using tape. So we'll go ahead and stick this down like that, and then I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to struggle with it, I know I am, but anyway. I'm going to fold this over like this. Stick that down, and then we're going to take, and I'm just literally going to have to take the whole lot off, which I don't normally like doing, but I'm going to have to because it's too fiddly. And then we're going to shimmy this in here and stick it down. Okay, so that's the card so far, and obviously the top view is like that. This bit just needs a bit more coaxing, a bit more bendy. There we go. And then all we need to do is add our greeting. I'm just going to give it a bit of a curl before I stick it down, just so it's got a bit of an idea of what it's expected to do. And then we're going to go ahead and stick this down onto the vellum. So find the middle and then just stick that down. There we go. So that's the happy birthday on the one side. Give it a bit of a coax. This one in the middle is being a bit problematic, but let's just, there we go. Okay, so I've actually found this Enjoy Your Special Day, which is the same width, so I'm going to use that. I'm all up for an easy life. So again, just going to give that a bit of a curve, and then stick some more tape on the edges, and then stick it down on the other side, just like we did with the happy birthday. You probably saw me then, I put a ruler across because I wanted to make sure that was exactly in line with the one on the other side. So let's just give that all a bit of a squish like that, and so that's what it looks like from the front. So then I think all it needs is a few little gems and dots around, and then I think we're done. Now you're probably asking, how does that fit into an envelope? How on earth does that work? So what happens is these two little wing bits go back like that, and they're just short enough that they fit and they don't clash, and then that will fit in, well, it will fit in an envelope for 5 by 7, but it actually measures 6 by 5 instead of 5 by 6 instead of 5 by 7, so it will definitely fit in a 5 by 7 envelope. And then the recipient just takes it out, folds the wings round, gives it a bit of a plump, and there you have your card. And I'm really pleased with that card, actually. It looks really nice. I wasn't sure if this vellum was going to work because I wasn't sure how much you would see, but actually I really like it, and I think it works really well. I would have probably preferred if that was teal, this teal colour, but it does fit in well because that square is green. So I'm now going to just add some gems. I recently did an order from Lucy's shop. She has some amazing gems, and I did a little order, so I'm going to use some of her gems, and she always sends you a little bag with a little, well, she does with me anyway, a little bag of free gems, which is quite nice, little odd bits and bobs. So I ordered some silver, some gold, some jewel grape mix, blackberry mix, I love those, this sweet pea collection, which I think some of those might go, actually no, this one's going to go better, sweet pea collection, harmony. I ordered the Ukraine hand in hand one, and she gave 100% of her profits from that for the crisis in Ukraine, so I really wanted to do that. And then this one as well, which is the Sweetheart, and I think this is probably the one that I'm going to use today because that goes really well. So I'm going to go ahead now, add some gems, and I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, so there we go. I've added a few gems. I really like this card, actually. I think it's really sweet. As I said, there's loads of things you could do with this. If you wanted to, you could not have acetate with a vellum with an aperture and use acetate instead. Or you could use card and just cut an aperture out the front instead of the vellum. You could forget the vellum altogether and go with more like we did on one of the Winged Bendy cards, where we've got this strip across the front. You could do something like that. You could literally do what you want to do. I mean, there are so many options you could do for this, but I just really like it, and I quite like the fact it's you know, it's a bit of a bigger card, a bit more of a showstopper. I know I like my big cards. I'm very sorry. If you like a smaller card, you can try and do a smaller one. By all means, you can maybe even get this down, and so this is a 6x6, so you've got 6 inches by 6. I know that's not smaller. You could go down to 5x5, 4x4, whatever you want to do. You could literally change it. You can change it up however you want to do it. So I hope you enjoyed today's card. I hope you'll have a go. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. And I will see you next time. Bye.